Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, September 25th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. So, the Giants actually won a game yesterday. They had 4 runs on 11 hits, no errors. Cardinals, 3 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors. And the Giants ended up winning that game, like I said, 4-3. The win went to Jose Butto, and Tristan Beck got the save. Maybe a little change at closer instead of Ryan Walker. I don't know. And then Riley O'Brien got the loss. It was a good, solid all-around game from the Giants. Christian Koss had a good game. Rafi Devers hit his first splash hit as a Giant, and it was a solid game, a good win. Unfortunately, too little, too late, as I believe, we were eliminated yesterday mathematically, and that and I didn't necessarily know exactly if we were in fact eliminated, but now I know we are eliminated. That even if we win out and the Mets lose out, we're still going to be tied with them, and since they have the tiebreaker, the season is essentially over. There's just the one more weekend series against the Rockies, and that will do it for the Giants. So we do not play today. We just play over the weekend. So it was a good win, but unfortunately, in the context of the past couple of weeks, it does not matter. And 4-3, the final. Good win for the Giants. Just doesn't matter. In other news from around the league, the Mariners, with their win over the Rockies and the Astros' loss to the A's, have clinched the American League West and are going to the postseason. Cal Raleigh hit 2 homers last night, and the Big Dumper got to 60 homers on the year, which is an incredible feat. He is the first catcher ever to do it, the first switch hitter ever to do it, and 60 homers is a very impressive mark, especially when playing at the catcher position. And we can get more into that later. But looking at some other scores, the Dodgers beat the D-backs 5-4 and 11. The Cubs beat the Mets 10-3. The Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-1 behind a strong start from Crochet. And with the Yankees win over the White Sox, they have now moved into a tie for first place in the American League East. The Phillies beat the Marlins. Pirates beat the Reds 4-3. The Guardians have now jumped the Tigers. The Tigers, who have lost, I believe, 8 in a row. They have lost 8 in a row. Lost 5-1 to the Guardians, and the Guardians now have first place in the AL Central. The Rays beat the Orioles 6-2. Brewers triumphed over the Padres 3-1, and the Nats beat the Braves 4-3. And the Angels beat the Royals 3-2. Rangers beat the Twins 4-2. And those were the scores from yesterday. Lots of changes happening, especially in the American League, with the Mariners clinching, and the Guardians have now taken first place of the Central over the Tigers. The Tigers have just collapsed big time. 8 losses in a row. They led by as many as 14 games at one point in the year. And now they're just fighting to not only win a division, yes, but even if they don't win the division, they might not make the playoffs if the Astros get together. Astros, who've also put together quite a few losses. And then the Yankees move into the tie with the Blue Jays for first place in the East with 4 games to go for both of those teams. It is coming down to the wire. That is for sure. Um, yeah, it's coming down to the wire. In the American League, it could look very different from the way that it is now. And the way that it is now, let's just read that out so you know. On today, September 25th, the Blue Jays are the 1 seed with 90 wins. The Mariners clinched the West and are the 2 seed with 89 wins, followed by the Guardians, who will, if the season were to end today, would win the Central with 86 wins. Then the wild card would be the Yankees at 90 wins, the Red Sox at 87, and the Tigers at 85. The Astros are lurking at 84 wins, 1 game back of the wild card. It's safe to say that the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they've clinched. Let's double check that. I believe at least clinched the playoffs. And the Red Sox are in a good position to make it as long as they don't lose out. So the Red Sox win 2 games, they should make it. And then looking over at the National League, if the season were to end today, the Brewers would be the 1 seed with 96 wins. The Phillies would be the 2 seed with 93. So there's still time for the Phillies to catch up to Milwaukee. And then LA would be the 3 seed with 89 wins. Another team with 89 wins would be the Cubs, who are 8 games up of the Mets in the wild card. They would be the 4 seed. The 5 seed would be the Padres with 87 wins. And the Padres and the Cubs have both clinched the playoffs. And the Brewers and Phillies have also clinched their divisions. But for the 6th seed in the National League, it is up for grabs. The Giants and the Cardinals are unfortunately, the Giants are eliminated. Fortunately, we beat the Cardinals yesterday to knock out our rivals from playoff contention. But the Diamondbacks and the Reds are both 1 game back of the Mets with 4 to play. It's going to be close. The Mets with 81 wins, the Diamondbacks with 80, and the Reds also with 80. If I were to give a prediction as to who's going to make it, the hottest team is Arizona, but they have to play the Dodgers. And the Mets are obviously the Reds are a very solid team. The Mets have just, I don't know what happened to them. Even with Juan Soto and that expensive team, they have not been good at all lately, and they've opened the door for some other teams to sneak in the 6th seed. If the Mets can get in, I still think they can go a long way. Maybe to the CS, they would have to go up against the Dodgers. But if I were to pick the best team here is the Mets. I'm not sure if they're going to make it. It could be the D-backs, could be the Reds. I think as long as the Mets just lock in and win a couple more games, they should make it. But it is going to be close, and the final wildcard spot in the NL is wide open. And honestly, once the playoffs start, it's also wide open. I think any one of those teams realistically has a chance to win the World Series. And we'll talk more about that later. But one thing I do want to get into is MVP conversations in the American League. Aaron Judge is obviously having a fantastic year. He's at 50 homers again for the 4th time in his career, and he's a great player. However, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, with 60 homers as a switch hitting catcher, and he doesn't, the catcher is one of the toughest positions, if not the toughest position on the field. And the fact that he's doing the things he's doing with the bat from the catcher position is remarkable. And that's why I think that Cal Raleigh will win and should win the AL MVP. In the National League, it's a little bit closer. I think Ohtani is Ohtani. He is a fantastic player, jack of all trades. He can do literally everything. Kyle Schwarber's also having a fantastic year, though. Both of those players are primary DHs, so that's very interesting. I think Ohtani is going to get it. Just because he might win. He might win it every year until he retires. Because what he does, what he contributes to the team, he definitely is the most valuable player. But as we've seen in the past, the MVP does not always go to the most valuable player. It really just goes to the best player, which you would think is the most valuable. But some people just mean more to their clubs, and Ohtani definitely means a lot to the Dodgers. A lot of their success is due to him, and I think he's a great guy. He's a great person, a great role model. He is a Dodger, though, and for that, I do not like him as a player. As a person, he's a nice guy, but as a player, I can't stand him. So unfortunately, Ohtani will win MVP, but the big dumper will take home the AL MVP. That's my pick for MVP. Obviously, I don't get a vote, but if I were to have one, I'd give it to Raleigh. So that's kind of how things are going in Major League Baseball. Today's the 25th, the last day of the year, or the last day of the regular season is on the 28th. So we're approaching it. We're getting there. Giants, the nice win yesterday, and the rest of the league is going to be crazy down the stretch. So I'll be paying attention to it. More baseball talk today. But there is football tonight on Thursday night. It's the Seahawks and the Cardinals. big division showdown. It pertains to us Niners, as these are two 2-1 teams, and the winner will get to 3 wins. I think it's in Arizona, but I like the Seahawks more. I think they just beat down on the Saints last week, and you know we played both these teams. We beat both these teams, but I think the Seahawks were tougher. And with the way that offense looked against the Steelers and against the Saints, two good defenses, I'm gonna pick the Seahawks to win tonight on Thursday Night Football. Lots of sports going on tonight. Be sure to check it out, and I'll see you tomorrow.